Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to another reaction video. Today is going to be slightly different. Today, we are going to be watching some conspiracy theories. I fucking love conspiracy theories. I think they're so interesting. I literally sit up until like 4 a.m. on TikTok just watching a ton of different conspiracy theories. So I'm hoping that you guys do too and you guys enjoy this video. But this one, we're going to be watching conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. Let's get into it. We have Twitch chat with us today. Be nice.
We all love a good conspiracy theory.
Hell
For most of
yeah,
us, they're
we do.
a form of absurdist entertainment. We read stories
Hell yeah, we
about
do.
how we supposedly never landed on the moon and how the Earth is supposedly flat, and then we have a good laugh at the people who are dumb enough to believe these things. But what if we were to tell you that not every conspiracy theory is total nonsense, and that for every
interesting
person there is
Oh, bless her, man. She wasn't a lizard. She was just a sweet old lady that we called the Queen.
That has some truth to it. You'd probably be quite shocked. I mean, how could we make such an outlandish claim? Well, folks, strap in and don your tinfoil hats, because here are 5 conspiracy theories that actually.
Oh my god, I'm
turned
actually
out to
really
be
excited.
true for the most part.
Oh my god, even though it's not Sidemen, it's still Side something. How cool is that? And we've got Simon too. Roswell.
In June 1947, an enigmatic object crashed in the desert on the outskirts of Roswell, New Mexico, propelling the sleepbeat down into the annals of extraterrestrial lore. The Air Force was quick to quell burgeoning rumors, asserting that the object was no flying.
I genuinely think, by the way, this guy could tell me anything and I'd just believe it. He just looks like he knows shit.
Source, but rather just a mundane weather balloon. But this did little to quell them, and soon enough, the belief that it was actually an alien UFO which crashed at Roswell began to spread all around the US. By the late 90s,
Got such a good voice for audiobooks.
Planted roots and had grown into a full-on conspiracy theory. UFO enthusiasts the world over became steadfast in their belief that the US government was concealing the true nature of what
Sorry, what was that little dance?
happened at Roswell. Now, if we were to tell you folks,
His hair is giving Simon.
UFO did indeed crash at Roswell on that fateful day.
Oh,
I mean, you
bless him.
probably wouldn't believe us. But what if I told you that a UFO did crash at Roswell that very day? Now, before you get too excited and start breaking out first contact protocols, you'll notice that we didn't say an alien UFO there. So allow me to explain.
That's the thing. This is the thing about UFOs, right? The term UFO exists. Like, they have to exist. All UFO means is unidentified flying object. So that exists. No one can say UFOs don't exist. It's just alien UFOs. In my opinion, right now. Well, I think... Do they? I think they exist. Yeah, never mind. I'm chatting shit. I think they exist. I think aliens are real. I just don't think we've seen them.
Arsenal during the Cold War. As the nation sought every advantage in its delicate power
Exactly,
balance with
Rajan,
the USSR, the balloons, equipped with top-secret detection technology, were launched into the atmosphere to listen for potential nuclear tests conducted by the Soviets. And well, it was one of those balloons that crashed in Roswell. So technically, while it might not be what the term UFO brings to mind, as being far more indicative of a spaceship piloted by little grey men with an unhealthy penchant for probing your bottom, technically, an unidentified flying object did indeed crash at Roswell, making this conspiracy theory sort of correct. But
yeah,
well,
there we
go.
go.
Question. The US military isn't exactly known for giving away its secrets. Any brave veterans of the storming of Area 51 can attest to that. So
oh my god, do you guys remember that? The whole Facebook event storming Area 51. There were actually people that went. Fucking hell, I remember that now. Jesus. You went, Josh? Hell yeah, man. We are aliens to aliens. You know what? Fair.
The Roswell
True.
crash was gripping the US, and many groups were pressuring the US government for comment. At this time, a New Mexico Senate representative pressed the General Accounting Office to persuade
What's
the
that from
Pentagon
London?
into
Yeah, me too, man.
declassifying documents
Me too.
relating to the Roswell incident, a request to which the US Air Force finally acquiesced in 1994, releasing the findings of its own internal investigation into the crash. According to this, the debris found near Roswell was most likely from one of the mogul balloons that had not been previously recovered. Given the time and location, the report surmised that this missing balloon subject...
To be fair, if I was just some random person and I saw that in the air, fall and crash, I don't know what I'd think either. It doesn't look like a normal balloon. or a normal thing you'd see in the air, right? It does look a little bit outlandish.
The harsh surface winds was the much speculated object that landed on a ranch in 1947 and gave birth to the Roswell conspiracy. The report's conclusion
A lantern from China landed in my grandma's garden once. That's so
which was
cool.
Also released to the public in the 1990s, in which a note from June 1947 referred to a balloon that had never been recovered post-mission. Interestingly, the report also tackled the alien question. Rather disappointingly, it stated that the Air Force had absolutely no record of any such finds in Roswell. Unless, of course, that's just what they want you to believe, and the report was a fake designed to keep us sheeple in the dark. It wasn't. You know, if you're like me and you've been thinking about upgrading your wallet game, then listen up, because Ridge has something amazing in store for you. Picture this: wallets and high knife. Except for keys.
Thanks, Ridge. There was a number on it and they wished us a Happy New Year and said they were from China. That's really sweet. What the fuck?
Your order.
I love that.
Ridge and Hennessy
Dude.
Summer sweepstakes, and you could be cruising around in a
How
brand
long
new
is this?
recurring theme in conspiracy. Shadow governments are a bit of a recurring theme in conspiracy theories. For some,
Shadow
the
government.
notion that a secretive
Is this like the what is it? The Illuminati kind of thing? Is that what this is kind of referring to?
malevolent hierarchy is behind all the world's problems is a bit of a tantalizing concept, providing
an
an emotional
one, Nick.
scapegoat for the hopeless and, frankly, quite often dull realities of the world's problems. But don't throw away your tinfoil hat just yet, because what if we were to tell you that deep in the Californian countryside, nestled among the mighty redwoods, sits a 2,700-acre campground where the world's elites gather yearly to discuss secret things and take part in pagan rituals? Well, sure enough, this exists. Ladies, gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Bohemian Grove Club. The existence of this club is no secret. Indeed, it has been discussed from time to time for decades now. But what
Do you want
is
me?
more
Let me
elusive
put
is the reality of
subtitles
it.
on.
Quite understandably, such a club, frequented by such people performing such rituals, has been subject to plenty of wild speculation over the years. So, let's go over what we do know about it. For sure. Bohemian Grove is indeed an exclusive fraternity, counting among its members some of the most powerful men in the Western world. It was founded in 1872 by a group of journalists, artists, and musicians who sought a haven from the hustle and bustle of city life. Over time, as the club's members began to invite guests, the membership demographic shifted. The artists and journalists found themselves rubbing elbows with business magnates, military commanders, and politicians.
Yeah,
including
that
several
like
US
this just
presidents with
screams
notable
cult.
members, including George Bush Sr. and Ronald Reagan. Yet, despite the change in its membership, the club retained its bohemian ethos of reveling in music, theatre, and nature. Much of the club's controversy stems from its highly secretive nature. Members and their guests must adhere to a so-called "weaving spiders come not here" motto.
What
happens at the Grove stays at the Grove. Journalists are also notably banned from the premises, ensuring that the activities at the club remain largely hidden from public scrutiny. So, no one
Nick, man.
how we know anything about the club at all. And that is the product of infiltrations, investigative journalism, and hidden footage. One such infiltrator was Alex Jones, and yep, that's Alex Jones. Who
God, what a dick. Oh, no. Oh my lord! If you don't know this man, you are lucky. I cannot stand him. Jesus Christ!
managed to sneak in with a hidden camera in the year 2000. His footage revealed an enigmatic ceremony, the cremation of the Care, where
You're
members
lucky,
donned
honestly.
costumes and immolate a coffin effigy named Care before a massive owl statue, a spectacle ostensibly
He's the one. You've probably heard a quote of someone saying they turned the fucking frogs gay or something like that. He's the one that said that. Something about frogs being gay. Yes. Yeah. Loey. Yeah, exactly.
linked to a reverence for the surrounding redwoods. The club's spokesperson admitted the footage's authenticity, but downplayed its significance as a traditional musical drama celebrating nature and summertime. Further insight came from Spy magazine writer Philip Weiss, who in 1989 infiltrated the encampment, posing as a guest for 7 days.
Not the frogs.
Expose inside Bohemian Grove is our main and really only source for a detailed understanding of what actually happens there each year, documenting the peculiar and supposedly liberating ritual of public urination practiced by the rich and powerful attendees. He also documented plays where men portray women, comedy shows, and lakeside talks featuring high-ranking officials sharing otherwise undisclosed information. Knowing all of this, it's hard to restrain the imagination.
What the
really.
fuck?
It's a forest full of the Western world's elites partaking in all sorts of pretty bizarre rituals. we wouldn't blame you for speculating and starting to connect the dots in your minds. But
Yes.
we should stress, as damning as it may look on the surface, evidence of any great machinations occurring at the club have yet to surface, and current evidence simply points to it being an extravagant camping holiday in which the world's rich and powerful men relived their university days. But still, a secret
I
society
mean,
of the rich and
honestly, calling it a camping trip or whatever he just said downplays it a hell of a fucking lot. I feel like this is a glorified holiday club for blokes. Yeah, this is just Centre Parks.
powerful does indeed exist, so for our purposes, conspiracy proven.
Jesus Christ. Government surveillance.
Through the annals of American history, few events have proved as unsettling.
Where do I sign up?
As Edward Snowden's revelations.
Pigeons!
Of
Oh my
by the
God,
United
pigeons.
States'
Yes.
National Security
Pigeons are
Agency,
spies.
or NSA. For years, the public engaged in heated debates, entertaining rumors and suspicions concerning the extent of the NSA's watchful gaze. These whispers were invariably dismissed as the paranoid ramblings of conspiracy theorists, their claims seen as too Orwellian to possibly be true. However, in 2013, these allegations crossed the boundary between fantasy and fact, plunging the global community into an intense reckoning with the ethics of surveillance, privacy, and security. This boundary was crossed by Edward Snowden, a former NSA contractor who leaked a treasure trove of classified documents to the public. These documents exposed a chilling truth. The NSA had been conducting widespread, warrantless surveillance of American citizens' phones and internet activities. The echo
Oh
of Big Brother
shit,
and
no,
George
I
Orwell's
remember
1984
this.
resonated in this revelation, leaving the world shocked and appalled at the reach of the clandestine operation. Project Prism was among the most contentious programs uncovered by Snowden's
I
leaks
think I
that
actually
allowed
remember
the NSA
this.
unfettered access to the servers of 9 major tech companies, including Google, Apple, and Facebook. The agency could pry into individual search histories, email content, file transfers, and live chats, a level of access that amounted to a digital strip search.
Because this is something that the Simpsons, like, you know, Simpsons have this massive thing where they predict the future. This is one of the things that the Simpsons predicted.
This intrusion wasn't confined within the borders of the
It's
United
literally George
States.
Orwell
It
come
stretched
true,
out
yeah.
to foreign nationals and governments trampling upon the diplomatic norms of respecting other nations' sovereignty. Another egregious program codenamed Keyscore operated like a Google for private communications. The NSA could probe into individuals' browsing history, emails, and other digital activity simply by entering their name or email address into the system. No warrant required. It was as if every internet user had unknowingly volunteered for an Orwellian nightmare, their every digital footstep scrutinized under the unblinking eye of
What
the NSA.
the fuck?
Following Snowden's disclosures was an unprecedented upheaval. Civil liberties organizations, privacy advocates, and
Holy
common
shit.
citizens worldwide expressed their outrage, demanding accountability and reforms. The United States, typically seen as a beacon of freedom and individual rights, was thrust under an uncomfortable spotlight, its reputation for upholding democratic values very much in question. Despite the global outcry, the US government's response was ambivalent. While some acknowledged the need for a more balanced approach between
This
national
is
security and
nuts.
privacy, others defended the surveillance as essential for thwarting potential terrorist activities. Snowden, having exposed the world's most potent intelligence apparatus, was charged under the Espionage Act and he sought asylum in Russia. The aftershocks of Snowden's actions continue to reverberate, forcing nations to grapple with the moral and ethical implications of mass surveillance. And for us, discounting the notion that mass government surveillance is a conspiracy theory once and for all.
Holy shit. So I remember that happening, but I don't remember it being like that big. Like that big. I remember them being able to like see like text messages or something like that, but just putting in a name and everything comes up. Fuck, that's scary shit, man.
Conspiracy theories often come bedecked with a sense of intrigue, a dash of incredulity, and an insatiable curiosity for the truth. One such theory revolves around the Gulf of Tonkin incident that catalyzed the
I don't know about
Vietnam
this.
War. It simmered for decades in the public's consciousness. Skeptics argued it was a false flag operation, a bold and brazen assertion that was for years casually brushed off. In the end, however, the conspiracy theorists were vindicated. Their
I'd love to go for like a glass of wine with this guy and just like hear what he has to say. I think it would be like so entertaining and like so insightful.
paranoia proving prophetic.
Yeah, I can imagine him just
when
like
the American vessels,
drinking
USS
red
Maddox
wine,
and
just like
USS
sat back in
Turner
his
Joy,
chair.
reported an
Oh, me too,
unprovoked
Arch, me too.
assault in the Gulf of Tonkin by North Vietnamese naval forces. The incident rapidly escalated into an international crisis and resulted in the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution. This seemingly open-ended mandate endorsed by Congress gave President Lyndon B. Johnson the authority to deploy military forces in Southeast Asia as he saw fit, marking the official commencement of a full-scale US involvement in the Vietnam War. Yet the shadow of doubt hung heavily over this narrative. Claims of an unprovoked attack seemed dubious to skeptics, who conjectured that the incident was manufactured to justify an unpopular war. This theory was relegated to the fringes of political discourse for decades, with naysayers
I've not heard
dismissed as
anything about
fanciful
this.
Conspiracy theorists. It all came out in 2005 when the NSA declassified an internal study. It revealed that the second reported attack in the Gulf of Tonkin had in fact never been confirmed. Misinterpreted radar and sonar data, it seemed, had painted an inaccurate picture, and keen to never let a good tragedy go to waste, the US government had used this as an excuse to escalate their role in the conflict. The revelations from the NSA declassification were not just a bombshell for the public,
Mad.
but also for historians and political analysts who had, until then, accepted the official narrative. Digging into the release data, several corroborating reports and testimonies were also later brought to light. For example, it emerged that Lieutenant Commander James Stockdale, a pilot flying cover from the USS Ticonderoga on the night of the second incident, had stated in his 1984 book that he saw no enemy craft. To quote him, "I had the best seat in the house to watch that event, and our destroyers were just shooting at phantom targets. There were no PT boats there. There was nothing there but black water."
Oh my God.
Former Secretary of Defense Robert S. McNamara, in the 2003 documentary The Fog of War, admitted that the attack had not happened. Thus, the credibility of the Gulf of Tonkin incident was permanently undermined, vindicating the conspiracy theory that it was indeed a false flag operation. This deceit had profound ramifications. It meant that over 58,000 American soldiers had lost their lives in a war justified by a lie. It meant that the Vietnamese people, who suffered casualties well into the millions,
How is he not tired of talking?
dragged out for years longer.
I'm tired just listening.
Subsequent enormous injection of American men, money, and materials. And again, it was all over a lie.
Oh my God. There's no fucking way. Gay frogs. There's no way. There's no fucking way. I can't. There's no way. There's no fucking way.
The 17th of July 2015 was a truly special day in internet history, for it was the day that the rather controversial internet personality Alex Jones proclaimed loud and proud that
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Oh, how we all laughed at the barefaced absurdity of the claim being laid before us. But what if we were to tell you, ladies and gents, that just for once, like the proverbial broken clock that is right twice a day, Alex Jones was actually onto something here. Sort of. Allow me to explain. You see, the tale of sexuality making their way into our water supply, though simplified and twisted in
Are you
Jones's
kidding
narrative,
me?
does have roots in reality. Consider the plight of our amphibian friends, the frogs. In the wrong environment, they can undergo dramatic physiological changes, even shifts in their gender. This, in and of itself, is a completely natural phenomenon and not exclusively caused by exposure to particular chemicals in the water. But saying that, it does indeed appear as though certain chemicals, which sure enough do find their way into the water supply by human hands, can induce this state in particular breeds of frogs. But much to Alex's disappointment, they don't find their way into the water by means of some harebrained globalist conspiracy, but rather something much more mundane, just it being the pills that we take daily. In his book Troubled Water,
What the
activist Seth
fuck?
Siegel elucidates the long journey that the chemicals in birth control pills take after consumption. As our bodies only absorb a fraction of the pill's ingredients, the bulk, around 90%, is excreted either via urine or sweat. The expelled content, imbued with a synthetic estrogen called E2, then wends its way to our wastewater plants. E2 is an endocrine disruptor, has the potential to interfere with the reproductive hormones and development, particularly when consumed in excess or by sensitive populations such as infants. He goes on to further explain that in total, more than 10 million doses of synthetic estrogen permeate America's wastewater every day.
What the fuck?
People regularly taking these pills. The plot thickens further when he explains that despite the common assumption that dilution can solve this problem, even filtered waters reveal traces of many pharmaceutical compounds. Going on further to explain that astonishingly, residue of other drugs like Prozac have been detected in fish residing in the Great Lakes. Moreover, the estrogen often in rivers and lakes in the northeast US, has caused male fish to develop female biomarkers, including ovaries. In extreme cases, exposure to E2 has even led to decreased fertility in fish across generations. Given these known effects on a less complex organism, a question naturally might arise: that could humans also be affected? Now, this question might have you racing to InfoWars to pick up one of Alex's conveniently marketed water filters, but if this is you, worry not, because we need to make it abundantly clear that scientific understanding of the potential implications for human health remains incomplete, and while we absolutely cannot say that it's all cushy, neither can we say that there is need to panic. We simply don't know for certain with the present research. In response to the scientific gap, Siegel advocates for a proactive stance, one in which he says it is probably a prudent idea to put in some effort to remove these compounds at water treatment plants, but neither should we panic or even begin to consider something radical like banning these medications upon which millions of people rightly depend every day. And this brings us neatly back to Alex Jones, with whom we initially credited with very sloppily
favorite theory,
bringing this
frogs are gay.
situation to the public's attention. His claim was, if you recall, that
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
we also stated that this was
He's just so American. He's so fucking American. You know the K-Kona Twitch remote? That's what I imagine that person sounds like. Turn the freaking frogs gay.
kind of true. And indeed, it does appear that if you squint at the claim really hard, it does somewhat morph into an accurate depiction of reality, but we should also stress the parts that he got wrong. Firstly, it isn't just frogs, it's a whole range of aquatic animals. Secondly, they aren't turning them gay so much as they are changing their genders. And finally, it happens significantly less than Alex's somewhat dramatic delivery would suggest. But you know what? For a claim that outlandish and memed upon, we can't even be mad. We're just low-key impressed that there was any truth to it at all.
You know what? I fucking loved that video. I feel like half of the information went in and half of it was just, dude, I can't fucking keep up with this guy. Holy shit. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I cannot believe frogs being gay turned up in that video, along with, what was it, the Gulf of Tolkien or something, and Roswell. We end on gay frogs. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe. Let me know if you'd like to see more of this kind of thing, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.